We got this one from the Wall Street Journal. Rep. Ilhan Omar ousted from Foreign Affairs Committee by GOP. And, I don't really care that they removed her. I agree with Matt Gaetz when he said removing her from her committee simply because you don't like what she said is kind of stupid. But I think he voted to oust her, right? He voted in line with the Republicans. Is that what it was?
I saw that everyone did.
Yeah, all the Republicans were in favor. And I think what he said was, this is different. This is not just removing Schiff or Swalwell from a committee. This is putting it up to a vote. And then, the vote, of course, succeeded. But here's what I want you to see. You guys ready to listen to this?
No.
Yeah.
Democrats scream no.
Oh, good.
Is on adoption of the resolution. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those in favor say no. No. It's the opinion of...
Let's see, make it louder. Make it louder. Play it again. Keep going.
Yes. They're still going.
And without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
Did she misspeak?
Those in favor say yay. Those in favor say nay. Like, isn't she supposed to say those against say no? Not those in favor say yay. Those in favor say no.
Tim, I think you got to play it again.
Okay, let's play it.
I think you got to play it again.
Those in favor say no.
Oh, yeah, that's
those
weird.
Against say no, lady.
So wait. Basically, she tricked them.
So everyone
She got a
agreed.
unanimous, unanimous removal of Ilhan Omar.
It depends on the text of the motion.
The opinion of... is
so
on
good.
adoption of the resolution. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those in favor say no.
Everyone's in favor.
Have you ever
Opinion
seen
That she
like
Bugs Bunny'd them. They weren't listening, and so they all yelled no.
Straight into my veins.
Have you ever seen like a
there's
little
more.
kid have a meltdown? That's what I feel like.
Wait, hit me with some of that, Talib. Hit me with some of that.
You got.
Talib.
Here you go. Here you go.
Hit me with some of that.
The gentlewoman's time has
Congresswoman Omar will
expired.
not be silenced.
The gentlewoman's time
To
has expired.
Congresswoman Omar, I am
gentlewoman's
so
time
sorry,
has
sis,
expired.
that our country is failing you today through this chamber. You belong
The
in
gentlewoman
that
is no
committee.
longer recognized, and the gentleman from Mississippi is recognized.
They cut her mic and she's still going. They cut her mic and she's
I
still
know.
going.
You could hear her yelling. She's crying.
She's in
And
hysterics.
Cori
good.
Bush behind her is crying, and it's like, dude, they removed her from a committee. It's not the end of the world.
She still gets to be in Congress. Like, there's
Yeah.
still
I'm not gonna lie. I've had that on a repeat in my office pretty much all day today.
gosh. Well, I remember these are like the same kinds of people who were like, Donald Trump does not conduct himself with dignity. Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene heckling during whatever speech
Oh, right,
is
those
are
photos.
bad. Like, I'm sorry, are you not holding yourself to the same conduct that you apparently expect
Wait, but
everyone
there's
else
one more,
to?
isn't there?
I don't have the Cori Bush one pulled up.
No, the AOC.
AOC one.
You've got you got to have the AOC. I hope
have to look
I
for
hope
it.
that my friend Alex Stein hasn't seen this. It might put him in the hospital when he sees the AOC video today. But let me address something very quickly right here, because this is called retaliation. The
Okay,
right
here we got the
didn't
AOC one.
start this, and I'd like to
Retribution.
This is retribution. Retribution and retaliation. We are putting points on the board. And this is something where if you saw, Jordan Peterson has this whole thing now about, we need to be careful that, the left doesn't use this kind of, I'm sorry, have you seen the left lately? Have you seen what they're doing? Have you seen what they're doing to children? Guess what? We are going in and we are going to use whatever tactics necessary to correct the problem. And if there is a tactic that's already been used against people on the right, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, like they tried to do it to, I don't even care. I don't even care who it is. I don't care what they said. I don't care what they did. We are going to use it back tenfold until it stops.
Do you think it'll make it? I don't know if it'll make it stop though, because it's like saying, okay, nobody can hit anybody. Then the kid hits the other kid, and you're like, and then the kid's like, I want to hit him. Well, in some situations, you're like, you know what? Yeah, hit him back then.
No.
If you got hit, you can hit him back, and then no more hitting
until the entire system is corrected. And this is the difference between the new right and the old right. The old right will sit there and complain about, but we're how dare we use those drop boxes? We shouldn't use drop boxes at all. And the new right will be like, I want drop boxes in the back of every church in the country.
Yeah. We had Rick Santorum on, and he's like, we can't impeach Joe Biden. We don't do that. We're better. And I'm just like, then you lose,
Rick Santorum was my first boss in politics, and nothing but respect for RJS, nothing but respect for the senator, nothing but respect for what he did. And by the way, being one of the first people to say things like it takes a family to raise a child, not a village, not a socialist system. But I do think, yes, at some point you got to take the gloves off.
Yeah. If you want to keep losing, I get it. I can respect the attempt at honor and integrity. But look, man, we're just at this point where, as I was mentioning with Hassan, that segment, I did a response to him. It was like a half an hour long, because Ian pulls up this video the other day where it's like Hassan calls out, or Tim Pool calls him out. I was defending him. But the point is, the reason I bring it up again, if you literally can't even agree with these people and they'll come after you or deride you or insult you, then there's no point in trying anymore, and you're not going to win anything by just giving people who are crying what they want. And in this regard, you take a look at what we have the AOC video. I'll play this one. You look at what happened when Marjorie Taylor Greene and Gosar get removed. They're like, this is an injustice. Well, you'll see what happens. They literally cry. Mm-hmm. It's just like that meme where the feminist is throwing manure over the wall into the internet and says opinions, and then when people throw it back, she goes, "Help misogyny!" It's like, dude, here you go. You guys ready for AOC?
Wait.
Always.
Wait, hold, no. All right, there we go.
A gentlewoman is recognized for 1 minute.
Let's go.
Thank you. Now, as a fellow New Yorker, I think one of the things that we should talk about here is also one of the disgusting legacies after 9/11 has been the targeting and racism against Muslim Americans throughout the United States of America. Gestures. And this is an extension of that legacy. Consistency, there is nothing consistent with the Republican Party's continued attack except for the racism and incitement of violence against women of color in this body. I had a member of the Republican caucus
here we go.
Like slam poetry.
And and the Republican caucus rewarded him with one of the most prestigious.
She's saying that
claiming that Gosar's anime video.
Gosar posted Attack on Titans, which showed her as a gigantic human-eating monster being slain by warriors. It was a threat on her life. It was distasteful, in my opinion. Like, I understand the humor behind it, but I'm like, I don't know if it's appropriate. You want to, put that kind of image out there?
When people took memes of remember the first Kingsman movie?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you remember, I'm not going to describe it because we're on YouTube. This isn't the third hour. Maybe we'll talk about then.
Right.
But you remember the church scene?
Yeah.
And they took
Colin Firth just kills everybody.
Different, I'm just going to say political opponents and attach them to that. I wouldn't post something like that.
Yeah, it's like a will you read
that being said,
kind of
she hung out with Gosar. He threatened my life. She hung out with Gosar during the McCarthy vote, and you could see the pictures of her
everyone being like, "What is this?"
It's
looking
performative.
very
It's not real.
into him while she's sitting next. That picture, by the way, is some interesting stuff going on in that picture.
Right now, she knows she's being filmed and she's campaigning.
Congress, don't tell me this is about consistency.
Oh, yeah.
Don't tell me that this is about
she's up for re-election.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
When you have a member
she's
of the
actually running for.
Republican
She's
caucus
looking at
who
running
has
for
talked
Senate.
about Jewish space lasers and
Never happened.
She's doing
Marjorie
that.
Taylor Greene literally never said that. This is insane.
Never said it.
She did say in a Facebook post, could lasers have started these fires? And then she made one reference to funding from a bank. And then the media was like, but that bank was owned by Jewish people. Therefore, she's talking about Jewish people. And now AOC goes on the floor of the House and says Jewish space lasers.
an entire amount of tropes, and also elevated her to some of the highest committee assignments in this body. This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America.
That's why we took off two white guys
because I didn't get a
first.
single
Time has
apology
expired.
when my life was threatened.
I love it.
Her
I
life
love
was
the
never
spice.
threatened.
I love the
and
spice.
These people are evil.
I love the spice. I love it. No, I love her. I love her.
I'm sorry.
like a church preacher thing.
Yeah, right?
I think
is
it's
evil.
spoken
This is what
word
evil
poetry.
is. This is what
she hits the table.
when she is performing to manipulate the public to gain power. That to me is what evil is. I mean, there's other forms of it. Don't get me wrong. Like killing people and stuff like that. But I'm saying this is malevolent.
You're saying what
corruption.
she's doing to the people who are receptive, and we're laughing about it. We're being jovial, but you can hit the quote tweet button on Twitter right now, I'm sure, and you will find people that are absolutely lapping this up.
Yeah. And they're crying. It's like, my heart breaks for this country. Thank you, AOC.
And
thank you for speaking up
These
for
are the
us.
same people who believed her when she implied, and you know what I'm going to bring up, she implied that she was in the Capitol on January 6th and that people were coming to kill and rape and kill her.
No. She made that story up in its entirety.
Mm-hmm.
AOC said in a live stream that someone was pounding on her door and she went and hid in the bathroom and then heard, "Where is she?"
That's right.
Where is she? The
That's
only
right.
problem, first, every conservative comes out and says, hey, wait a minute. She wasn't in the Capitol building. And everyone in media, Huffington Post, they came out and said, yes, but they're connected. And she was scared that they made it through the tunnels. And I had a dude from Huffington Post reach out to me and say, hey, you're wrong about your tweet. you need to take it down. AOC, those buildings are connected. And then I responded I talked to him. I was like, oh, wow, I didn't realize. So I took the tweet down and I was like, my bad, I'll issue a correction.
So you tweeted, that's when I put the map.
I checked the timeline. And then I said, wait. And I messaged the Huffington Post guy back and said,
yes,
the times frame she mentioned in this story, no one breached the building until an hour afterwards. And he was like, no, that must be a mistake. Then he got back to me and he goes, oh, you're actually right.
Yep.
AOC lied. That whole story is a lie. What really happened was the police were evacuating the building. If AOC knew
and it was
an hour in advance that people were going to storm the building, why didn't she tell anybody? Because either she knew in advance before anyone breached the building that it was going to happen, or she's fabricating a story.
Was this before so when you look at the timeline, and of course, shout out to Revolver News and Darren Beatty on this, we know that the timing of when Ray Epps first hit those barricades was almost precisely coincidental, right? Precisely coincided with when the pipe bombs were reported outside of the DNC and the RNC, almost like someone was trying to divert resources away from that initial. And by the way, when I say the initial barricades, these are hundreds of feet away from the steps of the Capitol itself. This is what you would consider part of the lawn,
right,
or the National Mall. But
so
at
when
that point, had this knock on the door happened yet? Did she know about the pipe bombs? Or did this even precede that?
I don't know if she knew. I don't know what she knew. But the reason the cop knocked on her door was that they were evacuating because of the pipe bombs. And that was a full hour before the Capitol was actually breached. So AOC had no reason to believe. Now, what she's doing is, in my opinion, using hindsight. Now that she knows it happened, she's using that image in people's minds to say, how scared was I when they were coming in the building?
Right.
But think about at the time, not a single person knew the Capitol would be breached. So her story makes no sense. It's a fabrication. Mm-hmm. She is a liar. She is malevolent. She is an evil person.
Sometimes victims of trauma misremember, and they call it a lie.
It wasn't even 24 hours later she told this story.
Yeah, but she
misremember. It was like a few hours later. She's like, here's what happened.
But when a victim in the park gets jumped by a dude and she's telling the story to the cops, she's like, yeah, he was wearing a black jacket with they're like, do you know what color his hat was?
What time?
Red,
what time were you jumped? I think it was 8 p.m.
And it turns out it was 10 o'clock.
It wasn't 10 o'clock. Was the sun out? The sun was out. Why was the sun out at 10 p.m.? I made the story. Yeah, that's why.
There are examples of victims talking
spare me.
And misremembering.
I'm not
well, this is why you can't take witness testimony as fact.
Well, okay.
AOC goes on her Instagram and lies like she always does. Stop defending her.
But whether or not she was being malicious.
I don't think this is that situation.
Yeah.
I don't think this is that situation at all.
I feel like yours is closer to like if someone got jumped and the first thing they did was go to the media instead of the cops, right?
This is why victims don't serve on juries, by the way.
You cannot claim that AOC, who was evacuated specifically because of a bomb threat, and that's what they were told, then accidentally conflated that she thought before the breaching of the Capitol that the Capitol had been breached. They went through the tunnels, made their way to her office, and then tried breaking into her room. That's insane.
Well, they say the Capitol grounds had been breached if bombs had been placed on the Capitol grounds.
But that's what I'm talking about, is when they are using the most expansive definition you could think of in terms of Capitol grounds. And these are normally public areas. This is why, and I was there on January 6th covering it for OAN, that this is why a lot of those people who were walking around on the grass didn't think they were doing anything wrong, because on any other day you're just allowed to walk around there. This was not the steps. This wasn't the doors. This wasn't anything like that. And so where Ray Epps and those guys, who were maskless, by the way, cutting down barricades while President Trump was still talking. Those guys never identified, never charged, and they set up the entire thing.
And many of the people who walked onto the grounds into the building were behind where the barricades were breached. So imagine you're a bumbling dotard with a bunch of people walking around confused. There's no barricades. It's a straight path up to a door, and the police open the door and say, "Don't agree with it, but I respect it." And you're like, "I wonder what that's about."
Yeah.
That was on one side of the building. On the other side, you had people fighting. Don't get me wrong; those people should be locked up.
I remember
but a lot of
standing
these
on top
people
of-
didn't even know that there were barricades in the first place.
I remember standing on top of 101 Constitution Ave, and I said that exact same thing as it was happening. I said the people because on Constitution Avenue, you're all the way back. You have no clue what's going on at the front, so you're just walking up, and you're just following the crowd at that point. And 101 Constitution, believe it or not, of course, same address where the Penn Biden Center is, where they found the classified documents. So I'm standing on the roof of that saying, these people are going to walk in and they're going to get blamed for this, and they're going to have no clue what transpired before, because already cell phone service was down, signal was down. You had no clue. You had no way to be able to find out what had happened. And so even when they made all these arguments about Trump's tweets, et cetera, how would you know, right? There was no way to get access to Twitter or anything like that.
We talked to, they call him Podium Guy, but it was a lectern, right? Mm-hmm. And he said that he had no idea. Like his phone's basically dead and off, and he's walking around confused, like I don't know what's going on. And then he leaves, and all of a sudden he's like all over the news, and they're posting these pictures of him.
Yeah.
He had no idea what was happening, and they tried to make it seem like he was stealing it when he said he moved it like 20 feet, put it down, and then did like yelled something, and then walked away.
So like somebody else had moved it, and he was moving it back.
No. He saw it under the stairs or something, and then picked it up and put it in the middle of the room, and then like said like haha, like he was giving a speech, and then just walked away.
Wow. Oh,
they made it seem like he was stealing it from somewhere. Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.